This video is the second video of 4 about a cruise aboard the NCL Breakaway from the 12th to the 19th of December 2021. This video's topics are the bathroom, the aft-facing balcony, our likes and dislikes of the stateroom, and we'll cover other things of life on board a cruise ship. We're now going to take some measurements in the bathroom. Again, this is an aft cabin on the 14th deck. We are on the NCL Breakaway, and we are on the port side. This is not a haven cabin, this is a regular cabin with an aft balcony. And this looks pretty much like the standard bathroom I've seen in most of the rooms where I've had a chance to kind of peek in or somebody's let me look in. So let's take my measuring device. I'll sit here. I am on the throne with the lid closed. Okay. The last tailor I talked to told me I was a 40 regular, but I'm putting on weight and I should think putting a little more material out there. But in any case, take my measuring device here, and I will put it approximately from the edge of the shelf to there. How's that? That comes out roughly, I would say 26 inches. Okay, cross the hips. I don't know if you can see that. Cross the hips. Maybe more like 25 inches. Okay, I do have room to turn. My elbows don't get in the way. Okay, whoops, knock down the materials in there. If I were to turn a little bit, let's see, where's the paper? Paper's under the shelf here. Everything's in reasonable access. Okay. Not exactly the biggest toilet seat in the world, but I think for an average person, and I consider myself average build, that's the distance. Okay, there is a little curve here on the front of the sink, so for standing up, certainly you got room to step aside. Okay, now I want to take a look at the configuration of the bathroom. First of all, one light over here. That's it, nothing inside. The shower stall, curved frosted plastic. There is an air gap here, more than enough for my fingers. So if you overflow this thing, the deck is going to get wet. Please notice though, there is a step up. All right, opening the door, looking inside. As I said, it's a plastic sheet, reasonably anchored against the wall. Don't fall down inside. All right, looking at the floor, you'll notice it's not a rectangle. Kind of 90 degrees nowheres, just enough room to step in and maybe turn sideways a little bit. Okay, everything else within reasonable reach. So I started to say, if we're holding the camera outside and we're looking inside, I don't know if this is better for a right-handed or a left-handed person, because with my back to the shower, the trays on my right side. But the other thing to look at is these handles. Let's look at the handles. Hot water here, water pressure there, soap on that side. So if you're right-handed, you're crossing over. And the wand up here, which has an adjustable slide and angle change. And the famous grab handle, which is a bit of a step. I suppose if you put one step in and then reach for the handle, you're okay. Standard fare room. The first thing that we noticed when we walked in, no USB ports. Double check. No switches. Nothing down there. Nothing here. Oh my. I'm glad we brought a bunch of things. And nothing there either. Well, the one nice thing about this room, if you'll notice, is the bed. The bed is next to the aft balcony. The couch then is between the bed and the closet. But the nice thing about this is, look, I can now stand next to the closet without blocking anybody from anything. Here comes Jane. She's still looking for USB ports. Hasn't found anything. So the NCL Breakaway is an older ship. I think the launch date was 2013. So certainly 7-8 years old. And like any other vehicle that gets old after a while, it starts to creak and groan and make funny noises. And with an older ship, even when it goes through a refitting, there are things that are still going to jiggle and make noise. So let's go down through some of these things here. Above the bed, we have the lights. Yeah, okay. This light has a little bit of wiggle. Not bad, but we're out at sea, and especially at night, when they increase the speed, something like this starts to rattle. Also, this headboard's a fabric headboard. It doesn't move much, but last night when we were going very fast, around 3 o'clock in the morning, something back here was rattling. I haven't narrowed it down. Now these night tables, let's take a look at the night tables here. They're not connected to anything, they slide. So if they're set up, even if they're tight against the wall, they will bounce. And there's 2 night tables, one on each side. You know, these doorways aren't too bad, but you still got to know on heavy seas some of this stuff will rattle. Not a problem though on this ship, I've noticed. These doors are snug. Okay, moving across the room to the closet. Let's take a look at these things. You're out at sea and you let these things hang loose, they start to rock at night and you really hear them. So the best thing to do, snug up your clothes into the corner. Not bad, but if you push the door in a little bit, there's some give. Now it's going to take fairly heavy seas to make that rattle at night. But when things are really quiet, you're going to hear squeaks and bumps and funny little noises. Things will go bump in the night. And here we have the mandatory view of the balcony. This one looks relatively short compared to what we had on the Encore. Now, I mean, it's a single seat. Excuse me. It's not a lounge chair. I suppose if we had lounge chairs, we could put them in here. Floor space, though, isn't too bad for just 2 people. So, taking the turnaround, looking back into the room. So we're going to measure the balcony in this aft facing cabin. From the door handle to the railing, approximately 5 feet, 60 inches. The other side's a little more than 50 inches. It goes beyond the 5-foot measure of the tape by approximately 2 inches. So we'll say the other side is 5 feet 2 inches. Now the width, something else. Okay, so I'll put that width at a little over 9 feet. There's one other thing about these decks. You'll notice that the lower section slants out a little bit. So let's measure that. Okay, that little foot, that scupper, that little wedge dropped down approximately 27 inches. Well, at this point, it's closer to 28 inches. Notice there is a slight arc here. So that makes all the appearance difference on these aft cabins. In the past, in order to tell your room attendant if you wanted your room made up or you did not want to be disturbed, you had to hang a paper tag on the doorknob. Well, those times have changed. Everything is now done with a push of the button. Okay, so those are the switches. And now I'll take a look outside in the doorway. And both switches are off, so we have that little white light. Now, Able Assistant Jane, would you press Make Up the Room? So Make Up the Room switch is on, and the light has gone over to the green side. So Jane, please turn the light off. And now press the Do Not Disturb. And look, we have a red light saying Do Not Disturb. Okay, Jane, please turn that off. And now press any button. Press the Make Up the Room. Oh, see the light change? Turn that off, turn the other one on. How about that? Please turn it off again, Jane. So, that's the way it works here. Now, years ago, we used to have a dial down here. Make up the room, don't make up the room. Some of the newer ships, they still have buttons inside, but instead of over the door, there's some kind of display up here. So the thing to do, no matter which ship you get on, look for the buttons, or probably the best thing to do is when your room attendant comes by to greet you, ask the attendant, what do I press? How do I turn the switches on? They'll probably explain all that in detail. So I just had a nice chat with our room steward, Jerry. He was telling me about the rules here on the ship. They're still waiting for CDC to respond to their current COVID situation. So he said in the meantime anyway, the guests are expected to wear face masks. If you read the fine print in the daily ship's paper, when you arrive on the ship, or when we arrived on the ship, we were to get a free K94 face mask. And we did. We have them. Don't know if they're going to replace them every day, but I kind of get the impression that if we talk nicely to the staff, maybe there will be additional ones. And they certainly expect us to wear the mask when we leave the ship. I didn't ask them about any other things about what the procedures are in port. We'll find out in a couple days. In any case, here we are, sometime at night, Sunday evening. I still don't know what time it is. I looked at the TV recently for the bridge report, and it seems to think it's 9:28 in the morning on Sunday, and that we are recently arrived from someplace in Mexico. So I think we'll eventually get updated. We'll see. In any case, it's Sunday night. We're still going out on the channel, leaving New Orleans. Technically, we're not in the Gulf of Mexico. It's too dark to take the camera outside. So let's cut it off here for now, and we'll update you a little later on what's happening. Okay, I've been wandering around the ship a little bit, eavesdropping on conversations, and the general consensus of opinion amongst the passengers is that we have approximately 1,600 passengers on board. Some people say we're at 50%, maybe less. I haven't checked the numbers on the internet. I don't know if the passenger count maximizes at 3,200 or closer to 4. I think if you count crew, certainly it's well over 4,000. But in terms of passengers, the gossip amongst opinions this evening is 1,600. I have seen some young people that I would say are preteens or teenagers, but not that many. Otherwise, I would say we're mostly adults of all age groups, and from listening to the accents, certainly from all over the United States. I haven't encountered anybody yet that I would believe could be Canadian or possibly some other country. So much for the evening gossip. Okay, according to this screen, the ship's time is 8:23 a.m. It's Monday morning, sort of day 2. I know we had to change clocks, roll them forward 1 hour. Boy, it sure is quiet here for 8:30 in the morning. I wonder if they're all on the upper decks having breakfast at the buffet. As you walk down in here into O'Shea's, it's pretty much empty. There aren't too many people. I think so far this morning I've seen 5 people in the last half hour. Okay, there are people across the way in O'Shea's. Looks like mostly crew. Gee, this is a good chance to look down into the lower level. So, sets of cleaners. Well, we just missed one person walking out of the screen. There's another one walking down around there. Okay, so I'm up to 7 people this morning. I know we're at low capacity, but this is really nice. I can kind of wander about. There's nobody in the elevator lobbies. Again, I bet they're all upper levels at the buffet. I may take a walk up there in a while to see what's going on. And I believe traditionally in this area, you sometimes find a bowling alley, which we do have here. 2-lane. Hand-size balls. A little sign down here says, please swipe. Price is $6.18. And in case you're interested, this is not included in the arcade package. This is a good question. Is this $6.18 per lane? I don't know. Something for somebody to look up before they come on a cruise if they're interested in a form of bowling. There's a little train in here. So I'm in the theater. I think we're on deck 6. I'd have to double check that. I'll put that in a screen note here in a while. Deck 6, we're in the theater. I'm in row 10, which gives me the belief that I may be somewheres in the center of the rows. Of course, all the seats start with the number 10. 10. Previous row, 10. So let's go back here, looking at the aft. Breakaway theater. If you look up, you'll see just lights. There are no balconies. I see what's going on. They don't number the rows, they letter them. I've never paid any attention to that before. So here we have row K, we move forward or downward, J, H, and so on. So let's take a walk to the back of the empty theater. It is early in the morning on the first day of at sea. So it would be a Monday. We left on a Sunday. So we're up here to row R. Here's an S. A few reserved seats back here. Overflow chairs. And this is the view. Unobstructed view. So I'll let you do the math on how many rows. So in the cabin passageways, notice the rug. The fish swim forward. Wherever the rug turns green, or green-blue, depending on the lighting, you're near an elevator lobby. So once you're in an elevator lobby, which way is forward? You might have to walk out of the lobby and look at a passageway. Unfortunately, down in the activity areas, the restaurants, casinos, things like that. You're on your own. If you step out of an elevator, in an elevator lobby, you look down at the floor. There are no fishes to swim in either direction, so which way is forward? Stop for a moment, look at the marquees. There is an indication. Which way is forward? Which way is aft? On the opposite wall, I have a little different diagram, but still forward and aft indicators. Now if you're on deck 8 and you walk out of a restaurant and you're inside the ship, I'm not sure what you do at that point. Yes, date and time are on the elevators. So you really need to know the time. Take a ride in the elevator. The other thing I like about this place is look at this. Each deck tells you where you are, forward elevator or aft elevator. Off the forward elevator somewheres, over to the right you may be able to see the bridge. Here's a sign that says wheelchair access to the sun deck. So yes, you can go up one deck, there's the sun deck, and the flags are the NCL company flag, the ship's registry flag from the Bahamas, the flag of the country where the ship is currently docked, Honduras, the yellow Q flag for indicating newly arrived ship and not checked in with the government controlling the port, and the red and white pilot is a board flag. Most of the restaurants and bars on Deck 8 have outside seating on the oceanfront promenade. Some seating areas are more covered than others, and the furniture styles vary. On this low-capacity cruise, I had the impression that most of the passengers along the promenade preferred the promenade's quiet over the loud music of the pool and the merrymaking of atrium entertainment. Even the conversations at the outdoor bars were usually subdued. I even saw gray-haired couples sitting side by side, holding hands, while one partner snored with open mouth. So out of respect for their privacy, I'm showing only my view of the sea from Deck 8. An aft balcony is a place to be to enjoy a quiet Caribbean night outdoors, except if you are on the breakaway. Our aft-facing balcony stateroom is on Deck 14. Directly above, on Deck 15, is the Garden Cafe buffet, from which there was no apparent noise. Spice H2O is all the way aft on Deck 16. Horrendous throbbing noises and vibrations may be expected from 9:30 at night to almost midnight. Closing the balcony door and drawing the drape muffles some of the noise, but not enough to have normal conversation. Yes, at speeds of 20 knots or more, engine vibrations will be felt in the aft cabins, but engine vibrations are less discernible compared with spice vibrations. On the positive side, the aft balconies of Breakaway, comparing with balconies of other ships, appear to be less susceptible to crosswinds and odors from kitchens and engine exhaust. The curve at the aft of the Breakaway gives its aft balconies a sense of greater panoramic view width than most port and starboard side balconies. In the next video of this series, we will visit ports of call. Thank you for watching.